For our cultural awareness project, we wanted to experience the culture of the Jewish religion, so we decided to attend a synagogue. The congregation that we chose was Ohev Shalom. It was a Friday night service, also known as Shabbat. Upon arriving, we noticed that the parking lot was blocked off, so we had to park across the street and walk up. While walking up, we noticed that no one else drove there either. Everyone else walked as well.
When we walked in, we noticed that there were separate entrances, one for men, one for women, and as we were walking in towards the back, we noticed one woman sitting there, and clearly we could see there was a divider where men sat at the front and women at the back, and the whole ceremony was in Hebrew. There was chanting, there was singing, and there was reading of the Torah.
It was very interesting, to say the least. There were only white people there. There was no one of color other than Tony and Maria. And we walked in, and there was, like Maria said, there was only one person there. And she welcomed us in, and we sat down, and we kind of just listened and tried to follow along with the Hebrew. And as it kind of concluded, one of the women came over and asked why we were there, and she said, that we were welcome, and asked where we were from, and I said that I was from Rowlett, and she said, oh, there's probably only about 2 Jewish people there, maybe you and one other, huh? And I laughed, and we ended up leaving, and as we were leaving, one of the women called after us, and so we stopped and we talked to her for a minute, and she explained to us that the only reason that she was there was because she didn't have to cook that night. That all of the other women would normally be there, but they're at home cooking. And so she said she came just to walk with her husband. That was the only reason she came, and that's why there was only one other person left, one other woman besides her, because they were going to have dinner at the Goldsteins. And so they she explained that the service of Saturday morning, there would be more people there, or more women specifically there, and that was why there was only one female there. And as we were leaving, also, we were taking pictures of the outside, and one man came up to me and asked what the pictures were for, and I explained to him that it was to experience a different culture. And he said, oh, well, how did you like it? And we said, it was interesting, it was very unique, and we liked it, and it was very good. And he said, oh, that's funny, because the whole thing was in Hebrew. And we said, yeah, we know. And so then it was an interesting experience, to say the least, even though we didn't understand any of it.
Like Julie said, it was an experience, because in Church of God in Christ, our hymns are for worship, but these hymns were just, I don't want to say they were dry or boring, but they were nothing like what I'm used to. So the experience, the Hebrew, the women in the back of the church thing, all of that was new to me. And the Goldsteins made me think of the Berenstein Bears. So that was funny.
Stop it.
But other than that, it was an experience.
Like Tonine said, it was really interesting. I didn't know what to expect, but all in all, I tried to just observe and learn from it. It was totally something new.
Would I convert?
They were very kind people and very welcoming, but it was just hard to understand she explained that it was an Orthodox Jewish ceremony, which is why the women are divided from the men, why they have separate entrances, the women go in the back and the men go in the front, and that it's all Orthodox, and that's why it is that way. And it's very interesting to see that still exists and is a part of that culture today, that the men are still separated from the women, and the women are in the back, not in front, and the divider was like barely even see-through, so like you could barely even see what was going on. So it's like they're a part of it, but the women really aren't a part of it. There should be home cooking, is basically what I got from it all. And so it was interesting, but it was definitely an experience compared to what we're used to.
And another thing is that, I think experiencing this will better help me understand my students, because if I had male students in my classroom who are Orthodox Jewish, it would make them treat the ladies in my classroom different, and instead of me jumping on them for that or not fully understanding that, I would be able to say, oh hey, these students are Orthodox Jewish, this is why they behave in this way, and I can treat them accordingly, I guess.
Okay, well that was our experience, and we enjoyed it a lot. It was very different, but we're glad that we got the chance to do it. Would I convert? I think I would need to go to a Reformed Jewish ceremony so that maybe I could understand it and then decide. But it was an experience, to say the least.
Would you convert, Maria?
Ma'am?
Me either.
Okay, yay social studies.